Welcome to the Metal Prognosis. My name is Lee, and on today's video, we are looking at the HM300 again by Behringer. What I thought would be cool in this video is, because I've only really looked at this once, I'm going to put it through the Solid Studio by Nuix. And what I've done with this is I've loaded up 6 different IR, so impulse responses or speaker emulators, for another way of describing it. And I thought it'd be cool was, let's give this a test to see how it sounds up against these different speakers and find a decent one. And when we do, I'll do a little jam like I do in all my videos, and then we'll have a chat about it afterwards. And during the setup, while I do the gear breakdown part of this video, I'll put up on screen the different impulse responses and cab emulators that I do have. So if you do want to check them out, you are more than welcome to, because this unit is amazing for being able to customize it and load up things like that. So without further ado, let's stick this Solid Studio and mash it up with the HM300 and see what we get. Now we have everything set up ready to go. I've got my artist guitar here because my Jackson that I normally like to use in these videos is at the Guitar Tech getting some work done. So while that's at the doctor's, I have the Solid Studio set up here running straight into my mixing console. So there are no mics or speakers or amps set up for this. We are only using the Solid Studio and the HM300, so nothing else. So nothing else running in the studio at all. So what we get is what we get. And at the moment, what we've got, a bit boring. We turn on the Nuix Solid Studio. A bit warmer, a bit more pleasant, but it's still clean and boring. So we want some distortion. So let's turn on HM30. So, I can't remember how I reviewed it last time, because it's been a while since I watched that video, and I purposely didn't watch it, so I wasn't going to get tunnel vision by it. But yeah, straight away, as soon as we turn it on, we get some grunt to it. Which is very cool. So let's up the distortion a bit. A bit more. I think that's too much. Why don't we dial it back to about there? So I just add a little bit of mids and lows, but I don't want to get distracted too much into it, because because it's about going through the different IRs or impulse responses to this video, not so much trying to get the best of what we can out of each different one. So let's start running through them all. So this first one is by Kohle Studios. And, well, you just heard what it sounds like. Next one is by Frightbox Recording. Yeah, so just like what happened in the last video I did mashing up the Solid Studio with another distortion pedal, this one has less output volume to it, but it still has very different characteristics in the style of distortion we get out of it. So I think that's really cool. And I'm not fazed about volume drop because you can just turn it up. So now we move on to the next four, which are all from the Aeris free IR pack they have on their website. Next one. Next one. Last one. All right, so now to pick one. Yeah, I don't mind that one actually. Really second guess where I should have gone for that high note there, but I picked the wrong one. And now we're here. So that's sounding, wrong one. That's sounding cool. I'm liking that. So I think I'll leave it there because, like with all my things, I could keep going backwards and forwards and trying to fine tune stuff, but this is just about getting pretty much just experimenting and see what it's like, blending these two together to see what type of sounds we can get. But now we're going to do the big test. So I'll take a bit of time away from the camera. record a little jingle with it with drums and bass and double up on the guitars to have them in both speakers to see how it sounds like in a full band mix. And then we'll have a quick chat about it afterwards. So sit back, relax, enjoy the song, and I'll see you all on the other side. Time for my final thoughts on mashing up the Solid Studio with the HM300. So firstly, I did do 2 jams, and I decided to make the decision on the fly because it was a very short little jingle that I did. It's actually a riff taken from the album that I released a couple of years ago with my band, Shadows at Bay. So I'll leave that in the description below if you like that tune and want to hear the full final version of it. Because there's only a small little part of it, I thought I can double up on that. And I decided to do 2 different cabs from here. The first 2, because they were both really good, but they're both very different. And I thought it'd be a really cool talking point. So firstly, the first one, Kohle, from his company. I found that one to be, and I'm going to talk more emotions when I talk about different guitar tones and characteristics, because I feel like that's more important than just a technical jargon. It definitely felt a little bit drier and gave a little bit more aggression. It was a little bit more brutal with its characteristics that it brought on. Where the Frightbox, I felt was more saturated and had a little bit more dynamic to it. Now, in saying that, neither of them are better or worse. They're just very different, which is also why I wanted to chuck them in there. If you've got a preference, definitely let me know, but at the end of the day, it's just our preference. Neither of them are, as I said, better or worse. They're just different to, I shouldn't even say they're better or worse. They would suit better depending on what song you're utilizing them with. I think that's the best way to describe them. So neither of them are better or worse, but how you implement them in the actual song should be the deciding factor. Because when you're coming up with different songs, it's kind of like one of the things I talk about with my musos, as in my musos I bring to the studio or my bandmates that I work with. My number one rule when composing is any decision you want to bring to the table, any thoughts you want to have, I'm always up for listening to them, always up for having a discussion, but always try to keep in mind that make sure that it's coming from the perspective of it's for the song first before the individual. If you've got a guitar solo, make sure the solo that you're presenting is best for the song, not best for your ego. And I feel like the same with these distortion things. Neither of them were better or worse. It's just which one would work better for the actual song. And in saying that brings me to my next point that I want to bring up. I've got a friend, Nick Leonard, who's got his own YouTube channel, which is really cool. So I'll leave a link in the description below because I definitely recommend you check it out. He had a chat to me about how he utilised the HM30, and he brought a lot of light on the subject, which is really cool. And I think my main issue that I have with this is the music that I try to implement this with. Because if I went for more the Swedish old school death metal type of sound that they had in the mid-90s, this would shine a hell of a lot more. Now, the way on how I utilised it for this video, for example, is not that. So I'm not putting it under the best spotlight to make it shine. But that's okay, because it's still fun to see how it is going to react and how it does it. And also, too, if you're in the market to buy one of these and you're checking out this video to go, I wonder how the HM30 sounds, at least I'd like to think that you're getting a nice raw representation of what it's like by plugging it in and just playing, compared to me. And if anyone else does this, it's no problem at all. But compared to if I were to shape it to its biggest strengths. So yeah, for whatever that's worth, take it or leave it. But yeah, that's kind of how I feel about presenting this and doing most of my pedal to the metal or other videos and all that. Kind of just give it raw, give it kind of an overall kind of friendly foundation to work from to give a good representation of what they are. So yeah, like all my videos, they're about keeping it more a little bit honest, a little bit more real, a little bit more how it sounds plugging and playing compared to showing off my sound engineering skills and showing how far I can actually take a pedal and make it sound, you know, well, I don't know what the best description is, well beyond its own dynamics, for lack of a better phrase. I'm sure there's a better one, but I've got a blank and I have definitely stuttered enough in this little outro and during this video, which is a perfect cue to wind this up. So please let me know in the comments of what you feel about this. If you have had any experience with this, how you feel about it, or if you would like me to do like old school Swedish death metal type of rundown with this instead, or if you prefer me to do the opposite and see how it would sound if I did something genty or added a 7-string or something else to see where else we could take it. Yeah, how'd you feel about mashing it up with the Solid Studio, with the cabs, which I just threw in here and didn't really throw in there. I selected them, I chose them to see how they would react with them. So let me know your thoughts on all of it, because definitely keen, not only for me to hear it respond, but for anyone else in this community that likes to be a part of these conversations as well, to have a chat with them too. So in saying that, really look forward to chatting with you next time and continuing on conversations like this and other ones we've had in the future or in the past with the magic of the internet, because you can go back and check out all my old videos I've done as well. And until next time, please stay safe.